Mic check 1 2. It's your boy Triple Black, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka three black hearses. It's murder. Anyways, man. Anyways, on this Saturday, man, how's everybody doing, man? Make sure y'all hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I got my 7,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 8,000 and 10,000. You know how this thing go. Anyways, man, hit the cash app. If you like the content and stuff like that. I've never got I've never got a cash app. I've never got me a super chat. That's all right. That's all right though. Frankie Guns. That's my cash app right there. Make sure y'all hit that up. If you like the content, if you enjoy the content, man, just go ahead and do that. But we're gonna actually go in. We've been seeing that Ebonie K thing. I personally sometimes I think that YouTube is getting watered down, but I think this is an interesting subject in the exchanges on there. I complain sometimes about people just keep all they do is review this, review that, review this, review that, and I understand that part. You feel me? But the thing about it is, this subject right here about Ebonie K is actually very important, and I think it's very important because it does give you the dynamic of the black relationship in America. It gives you the dynamic of the black relationship in America. It does. And the thing about it is, what Ebonie is saying and how she said it or whatever, this is kind of the default setting of, I want to say, I don't know if they're really living this life, but as far as rhetoric, this is the default setting for most black women. Now, my brother told me this a long time ago. Never listen to what a woman says. You just see what she does. And a lot of these women will say the same thing that she's saying. Oh yeah, you need this and you need that and whatever. But they'll be screwing little junk. You know what I'm saying? Like this high lawyer will be screwing little junk for nothing and claiming like niggas ain't shit or whatever. So you can't really listen to what they say. You just gotta watch what they do, and that's very, very, very true. And Envy, I think, took this a little bit personal because his father was a blue collar person, and look how he turned out. But the thing about it is, this like, if the modern black woman were to be it was a person, it would be Ebonie. Like, all the sisterhood talking points, all the talking points that like, she if she looks like Kendra G, but she has the attitude of a Cynthia G. Like, she's a contrarian to the most point. Like, nothing is ever good enough. And the thing about it is, shout out to Pastor, man. Pastor said something I thought that was very, not profound, but he was just like, and it made me think, let's just say, not all bus drivers make a lot of money, but there's some bus drivers that make a decent living. And if I was a bus driver, say like a unionized bus driver, and I made, over 100,000 or 150,000 and stuff like that, would I want to date her? Probably not. And I'm thinking about myself. I was like, because the thing about it is, look, I know a lawyer chick. I met her. We became friends or whatever. At first we were talking and stuff like that, but I decided right out the gate it wasn't worth it. We just became cool, because she had kids, and I have a son, and we did that whole thing, play date or whatever. We still talk to this day, right? But since I've met her, right, and she calls me up sometimes and tells me, asks me for advice. She tells me this. She's at least for, let me see, the pandemic started. That was when she has at least been and saw or went out with at least 50 dudes, at least. Well, probably. I mean, that's yeah. Nah, no. Well, let me think about it. Nah, not 50. Probably. Like the thing about it, she's on. I think I met her on. I had Bumble at the time. I think that's where I met her. I think I met her on Bumble, and we actually had some mutual friends. But anyways, to make a long story, she's been on a date. She dated like teachers. She dated teachers. I think now she's dating a cop, and she's been off and on with a cop, like blue collar workers all the time. And the thing about it is like, and surprisingly, those dudes don't really want to do anything to do with her. That's the thing. Is like, and she tells me about this shit all the time. She can't even keep them. She can't keep one dude. She can't. She just can't. They either end up cheating on her or they end up doing some fuck shit to her, and she can't keep them. She just can't. But anyways, I'm about to drop the link. If anybody want to come up here and analyze, I'm a little under the weather, man, and analyze this whole thing with me, you're more than welcome to. Make sure you guys hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. It's very important to the algorithm. Your hard. Anyways, man. Yo. Anyways, man, hit the like button. But let's go ahead and let's see. Let me see if Mr. Let Go. Let me see if I can find the video. No, I don't want to do the whole thing. I wonder what Umar had to say about the shit. Oh my God. This lady's a clown anyways, man. I just think she's... Let's watch a little bit of an exchange. Oh, man. Ain't got nobody up in here, man. Mm-hmm. But watch this. And what I was very, very surprised about, fair use.
Not to disrespect these people.
I feel like you're changing the goalposts, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy.
No,
that's a projection because
I'll let you speak.
Go ahead,
Let me talk.
Go ahead,
yeah. So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did because I wanted to.
You guys notice how some of these words are part of everybody's vernacular now, and it's crazy how, I mean, we're like Lou. He just said you're moving the goalpost. That phrase, was, I think, popularized. I mean, I could be wrong, by the manosphere, because it's been used, because he's probably been listening to some red pill content and shit like that. And in the word projection it's an overly used word right now. That is a word that's being used whenever somebody doesn't like what someone says and blah blah blah, and they'll be like, oh, you're projection or you're like, These words are being overused. They're being overused. But anyways, go ahead, man.
Wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this and the black man this and the white supremacy this and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lift the brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
Well, first of all,
Paging Dr. Umar, damn.
Well, let's address it. And let's not skip a beat. Mm-hmm. So I would love to know how you, Envy, know what I'm looking for, because we never had the conversation.
I don't know. I'm telling you what people are saying on comments what I've read, and I'm talking for them. I'm not a bus driver. I'm speaking for the average person out there, because I feel for them, because the bus drivers and the average person are what keeps these lights on here on the Breakfast Club. Right. They keep me booking shows.
Nobody is saying, okay, first of all, this is not about you booking shows.
I'm just telling you how I feel. So when you shit on the people that ride with me,
Envy, you're dead ass wrong for framing it as me shitting on them.
You don't think
I know it. First of all, I know it wasn't. I think what you're saying right now,
ma'am, you cannot control how somebody perceives what you said. You cannot control how somebody perceives what you said. You know, it just like, you know, the women complain all the time about how you said it, blah, 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 and all this type of stuff. No, you are not in control of that shit. God damn.
Irresponsible. I think what you're saying is irresponsible. I think what you are framing right now in this moment is highly irresponsible. Because if you listen, I'm going to tell you. Because if you are to listen to all of a full Yana interview, the full sidebar, the full episode of Holding Court, nowhere in any of that commentary did I say a cross or negative word about the working class Black America, of America broadly, or Black men. I'm going to get to the why was my fiance. Envy, let me finish this statement.
You know what
I'm going
feel.
to get to.
Just because you didn't mean to hurt somebody, just because you didn't mean to affect somebody, doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community. I can say anything about somebody and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you, because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to this show, and they're hurt.
What about, Ebony, what about words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations? I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there that buy your books and follow you and support you.
You asked me to be quiet. Y'all, please. Y'all asked me to be quiet. I listened to your full statement. I understand you have a feeling about it.
22 minutes, and I just spoke for 60 seconds.
She is here to talk to him.
I know, but I just spoke for 60 seconds.
We got ours off already. Let Ebony talk.
I'm just returning what she said. Don't act like I didn't let her speak. She spoke for 22 minutes.
Go ahead, Ebony. Let her talk. Don't do that. Let her go ahead.
It's crazy how this whole debate even started, because Ebony said that she prefers not to date a bus driver. She would rather date the person that owns the bus. And she was just talking about how what she wants. She said she's not degrading nobody. She's not trying to make it seem like if you're a bus driver, then you just trash, your life sucks. She's not saying that. She's saying what she prefer to date. And I looked her up because I never really heard of her before, but she's a author. She is a lawyer, so I'm pretty sure she's making some real money. And like most people, when you make a certain dollar amount, you want somebody to match that. You don't want to get with nobody and you making, let's say you making $200,000 a year, and you get with somebody else that's making $35,000, $45,000 a year, and you used to spending and living a certain way. So now you got to bring somebody on with you. You paying mostly everything because they can't keep up with you. However you like to dress or eat or travel or whatever, they can't keep up with you. So you feel like you taking care of them because they can't afford nowhere near your lifestyle. So that's probably with the way she looking at it. She's like, look, a bus driver cannot travel when I want to travel. He can't take me out to the expensive restaurants that I'm used to. I heard a thing a long time ago. It said, date your wage. Stop trying to keep up with somebody who you know you can't afford. Most of the times, dudes be trying to spend, winding down a girl, and they go broke trying to do it. Or it could be on the flip side, a girl trying to take care of a dude and she can't do it. Two people got to have that agreement. It's just her preference. I don't get why DJ Envy was going so hard, but at the end of the day, who cares? Just date whoever you want to date. It's just simple as that. Long as you ain't trashing nobody for what they do, you just saying, I prefer this, then that's your preference. Everybody got their own preference at the end of the day. What y'all think about what she says, your boy B?
You changing the goalpost, right? What people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy.
No,
that's a projection, because
I'll let you speak. Let me talk.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did, because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about, and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this, and the black man this, and the white supremacy this, and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
You know what? This quarantine, I think, like a lot of couples, Wendy, it made us tell the truth about our relationship.
How long were you with him before quarantine?
Almost 4 years.
Did you live with him at the time of quarantine?
I'll tell you what happened. He actually did not quarantine with me. He has 3 children, 2 of which are young adults, and he chose to quarantine in New Jersey with his semi-adult children. And for me, listen, I'm not a parent yet, so I get that they're number one.
Right.
But I need to be number one, Wendy.
I don't mean to hurt somebody.
Feelings.
Just because you didn't mean to affect somebody doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community.
I
can say anything about somebody and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you, because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to this show, and they're hurt.
What about, Ebony, what about words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry of low expectations? I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there.
I want to start off by saying this. There's a possibility that Ebonie K. Williams may possibly be a terrible person. The reason why I say this is not about the bus driver stuff. It's not about the DJ Envy stuff. It's about the 4-year relationship she had with this white guy, whoever he was. She tells a story and says he spent quarantine with his 3 kids instead of her. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. One, why, as a woman that has no children, why are you with a man that has 3 kids? Possibility because the guy has money. So that's the first thing. I can only assume that this woman was with him due to the fact that he had money. Because when we talk about the average man, bus driver this, or, owning a bus company or whatever, I'm quite sure that if this man was a regular guy, or even if he made $200,000-$300,000 a year, you, Ebonie K. Williams, would not be in a 4-year-long relationship with a man with 3 freaking kids, and you don't have no kids. The second thing is, staying in that particular situation, you sound like a selfish person. It's quarantine. People were dying at that point. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew that this whole thing was literally a scam.
Are you interested in learning how to make money from home? Here how I have been doing.
I don't have YouTube.
I make most of my income right here from my home office.
Fair use. But anyways, Mr. Let Go does have a point there. I personally think she might.
People were scared.
Person.
You are judging a man that is choosing to quarantine with his.
And the thing about it is like I said earlier, we would have to. You would really have to think if a bus driver would even date her, because the thing about it is, lawyers. A lot of those people are very low integrity people, because part of that job you have to be. You got to use some suspect judgment. You got to do some suspect things. So, I don't know. It'll be hard. Like sometimes you might. The bus driver might not want to date her, and the thing about women like Ebonie Williams in general are undesirable. They're just undesirable. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's like, do you really want to spend the rest of your life dealing with an unruly woman? They said, I don't know what that proverb, the proverb about the unruly woman, or you rather live on a roof than deal with a unruly woman. And I think that she is that proverb.
His children instead of you. You actually wanted a man to put you, somebody who has no kids, ahead of this man who's taking care of his 3 kids. So this man is taking care of his kids, doing the right thing by his kids, protecting his kids. And you have a problem with that? That's the second reason why I think she's possibly a terrible person. The third thing is this.
I had to go ahead and support Mr. Let Go. Shout out to you for this cool card game. You guys, the questions on here are actually really dope. Like, they're really good questions for couples, new relationship, old relationship. Like, these are actually really good questions on these cards. First question would be, what are your 5 absolute deal breakers in choosing a potential marriage partner? Like, these are the questions that are on these cards, y'all. And they're very, very entertaining, I promise.
Over 80 intriguing questions that will help you vet your mate better. Person that loves keeping a woman when you aren't even dating black men. And my last point, which somewhat proves that she's a terrible person, the majority of the things she said was somewhat of a lie. She was allegedly in a relationship with Joe Budden. So when you turn around and say, there's not a lot of men that make as much money as you do or are as ambitious as you are, you were in a relationship with a man that was more ambitious. Let me guess. He didn't want you, right? Is that it? The black men that you actually did date didn't want you. The other races.
The thing about it is this lady has said that she's been through it. She's been through it all, right? She's been through all these men and all this type of stuff. At some point, she has to start looking at herself. You know, am I the problem? Because the thing about it is yeah, she really has to sit down and analyze, is she the problem? And I think that you can make a case that she might be the problem. Because the thing about it is how are you going to go through all these men? You've been through all these relationships and stuff like that, and yet, you know, she's, you know, you perceive like you got the money, you got what the looks are and everything like that, but you just can't keep nobody. That's a glaring point that you may be the problem. It's pretty glaring that you may be the problem. But anyways, man, let me get up out of here, man. I just want to cover that. I didn't want to go to the Breakfast Club one because they would have I don't know, copyright strike me or some shit like that. But anyways, man, make sure you guys hit the like button, man. And stop sharing. It's your boy Triple BLACK. Just want to go on here real quick. I'll probably hit some panels up. Gotta go to WAC. All right, man. I'll let you, buddy.